Thank you, Chairman. I'm not Glenn. Jeff. Mr. Secretary, Undersecretaries, thanks for being here. That was an interesting budget last week. It had some ideas in there I liked, some I didn't. The one I want to focus on for our purposes today is $225 million more used primarily for alternative energy projects, and in addition, a $675 million bond for a total of $900 million slated for the package of alternative energy, natural gas, and energy efficient projects. I noted within this, you are subdividing $50 million to revive the Pennsylvania Sunshine Solar Rebate Program, which you classify as wildly popular in your notes here, stimulating installation of 100 megawatts of new solar capacity at homes, small businesses, municipalities, universities, schools, and hospitals. How big of a wind farm do we have to build to generate 100 megawatts?
A wind farm?
Solar farm, wind farm?
Well, it depends on the technology. I believe that in the history of the Sunshine Solar Program, from 2009 until we ran out of money, that program was responsible for the development of about 98 megawatts of solar
Potential
power.
or actual?
Actual.
Really?
So we think there is significant potential to exceed that figure. Over the last several years, the cost of solar power has come down precipitously. So we can get a lot more bang for the buck, and we anticipate very, very strong interest. This is a program that was responsible for over 2,700 jobs in the Commonwealth. It supported a very robust solar industry in the state, and given the rapid decline in solar prices, an additional $50 million of injection into the Sunshine Program and relaunching it, we think would have a multiple of previous impact. So there's a big potential for job creation and for some very serious energy generation.
2,700 jobs.
I believe that was the total over the history of the program based on an analysis that the agency did.
How many of those are still here?
Well, the solar industry has fallen on hard times in Pennsylvania, while it is growing in many other states around the nation, most of which provide some level of additional public support for solar. Those jobs are growing in other states. In Pennsylvania, the solar industry has contracted in recent years with the decline of federal and state support.
And I apologize for misstating earlier, it's 20 million to spur construction of specifically wind farms and interconnection to the power grid. I'm sure you're aware, Federal Clean Air Act forced the closure of about 11 coal-fired base plants. That's why I want to know how many acres and miles of space do we need to replace that base load, because Pennsylvania's electrical consumption is going up 1% every year for as long as anybody can remember. It projects to do the same. When you take a third of your electrical capability offline and try to replace it with another source, I think it's a fair question. How big of a solar farm are we talking?
Well, Representative, what I would say is that the Sunshine, the solar program and the governor's energy portfolio that he has proposed of $225 million of investments in things like combined heat and power, wind generation, energy efficiency, it's not designed to replace any particular number of coal plants that have gone offline due to federal requirements or market conditions. One of the big causes of shuttering of coal plants is low natural gas prices.
Sure.
Clearly, our energy portfolio is changing. What I will say is to restate the governor's strong and unequivocal support for all of Pennsylvania's traditional energy sources. Right now, coal provides 40% of Pennsylvania's power. And as you know, we have a clean power mandate that will come at us in some form, probably by this summer. And the governor is very clear that he wants to protect, and that is the word that he has used, protect Pennsylvania's coal industry, protect our position as a net energy exporter, and take advantage of all of Pennsylvania's natural resources. So we have to have a portfolio approach going forward to ensure our position as an energy exporter, ensure the strength of our energy economy. This investment proposal that the governor is making in his budget is designed to incentivize particular aspects that offer high growth potential in terms of new job creation that can have high impact on marginal prices of electricity. This is a very balanced and I think ingenious approach at creating jobs and strengthening our energy security at the same time. It complements the strength of coal in Pennsylvania, in my view.
Well, thank you. That's a very interesting answer, Mr. Secretary. So 900 million is the big number, correct? 675 million in a bond initiative and 225 million straight budgetarily out of the general fund?
Well, that is a total as part of an economic development package. The funding that the governor has proposed for energy per se is only 225 million.
And we're borrowing this money, right?
Correct. It would be paid for, not to cut you off, apologize, it would be paid for with a portion of the Marcellus Shale severance tax.
How exactly does that severance phase-in work? I've heard anything that the municipalities currently enjoying local impact fees, of which Armstrong County pulled in about $130,000, which I understand is a straight number game. You can substitute number for number. Does the governor's plan have any plan or segue for building roads? Because last year Armstrong County got basically 96 miles of free roads from the gas drillers. And if we're going to give up our impact fees for the good of the Commonwealth, how long does that take?
Well,
I've heard 2 to 3 years, 4 years, 5 years.
The governor, in his severance tax proposal, wants to preserve the impact fee and maintain it at the highest level. The most that fee has generated to date is about $225 million. The governor wants to maintain that level of funding and maintain the distribution of that funding.
There is no phase out. Impact fee stays in place. We just throw another, what, 4.3 on top of that, or whatever that is?
The effect of the impact fee, in other words, the amount of money raised and the uses to which it is currently put, would be maintained in the governor's proposal.
Indefinitely.
Yes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you, Mr. Secretary.